What up? What up? Welcome to the Keep It Going podcast. My guy Doc is a real dude sitting with real people having real conversations. Now make sure you subscribe so that you can get notifications every Tuesday. Now let's chop it up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Going. I am lit this morning, guys. We are talking about something this morning, guys, that I think is so relevant, especially in today's culture. I have some very special guests to talk about this topic. I have Lesa Pamplin. She used to work for the DA's office. She's out in private practice. You may have seen her on the posters running for judge last year. And so, Lesa, it's so good to have you on the show for the first time. This is Egon Settle. He used to be known as Cashmere back in the day before he met Jesus. And so he's going to tell us some little stories about that, about how he came to know the Lord and kind of his lifestyle, because there was a time where he was in prison and made some tough decisions that he was able to live to tell about. And to my immediate right, I got the man who is all over everywhere. This is Charleston White. And, you know, I've heard him described as where genius and insanity meet. There you find Charleston White. Wow. Have you heard that before? Wow. Where genius and insanity meet, there you find Charleston White. So, man, I'm so glad to have y'all here, man. Thank y'all. And we have a very special guest who's going to call in to our show. Cannot wait to talk to his brother, Kevin White. That's Kevin, the older brother, the younger brother?
He's older.
To talk to his big brother. And guys, I cannot wait to hear it. I had no idea what his background was, but the brother did 31 years in prison and came out. He was at church last Sunday, gave his life. And so I just can't wait to hear more about him, because you never know you never know the person's story that walked it out. And here at Corner Inn, I tell people all the time, we got some of everything. Am I right about it? We have some of everything that come around our house. So I want to get this thing started, man. Let's just jump right into it. This is one that I don't even need a script for. Let's start with this, because street dude, street life, outside, it has become very much glorified, right? Yeah. And I don't think people understand what they're truly, truly choosing. I want to talk about this. The street dude and God. Like, where do they meet? Do the average guy on the street right now, the average youngster grow up in the street in that lifestyle, do they have a God knowledge or a God conscience? I have a theory there. But when you hear about that, Charles, you said something very interesting, as far as like, the only Bible you read was your mother's actions. Yes. And so you didn't come to know the Lord until you kind of watch your mother live. Yeah, Say more.
I would reject the words that she was saying. Yeah, mama, that's what you believe. Yeah, mama, that's what you saying. Children are bent on proving their parents wrong, especially as adolescents, because you think they don't know. Right. You think they don't understand your world. So the things that they say to you, you reject them as a kid, as a teen, as a young adult, only to grow up and start to realize, well, your mom was right, your dad was right. So when mom is telling you about God, the culture is telling me about pimps, right? So the culture is propagating and promoting and glorifying a pimp. Well, when I cut the TV off, I got a pimp uncle. The culture is glorifying woman beaters, right? So you think about the black exploitation era, the 70s, right? Okay. Pimping, Superfly, the Mac. So before we had gangsters, we had pimps.
That's you.
That's my uncle.
That was you, because you were very much involved in like the whole pimp culture, because you were a pimp. Yeah. What led you to that? Did you have an uncle pass game on to you, or did you just kind of saw the opportunity, or a female chose you to be a pimp first, right?
I got turned out. I got turned out. I was 14 and a half years old, and I met a woman, Avis McCoy, who I was living in a car that I had bought. And she just came up, started talking and said, "Where do you live?" I said, "I live in my car." She said, "Not no more." And so she took all my clothes, put it in an apartment. I was 14 and a half, she was 26. And so she said, "Take me to the truck stop tonight." And so I took her to the truck stop, and she said, "Pick me up at 8 o'clock. When I picked up, she had like $800-something, so much cocaine. We shot about $200 worth of cocaine.
At 14?
Yeah. I started shooting dope at 13. Yeah.
Wow.
And so she was the one that got all the women. She went to the penitentiary. So all the women that was going to live this lifestyle with or without me was the one that trained me to be the ideal pimp that they would love to work for.
Okay, so let's say, so you're a pimp, you're in the lifestyle. You see a Charleston. He's about 18, 19. Do you promote that lifestyle?
My uncle did. I would ride with my uncle, my mama's oldest brother. I would ride in the car with him and his prostitutes. He would tell me how she was doing him, he was doing me like that. Yeah, nephew, you don't have no business effing with a woman if you ain't got nothing for her to do other than sleeping with her. Find something for her to do. Wash clothes, make her sit. So I even repeat that as a grown person.
Wow.
So I got my uncle, I'm seeing this in real life. Then when I cut on the television, there go the movie The Mac. As a kid, I can recite that whole movie.
The Mac messed up a lot of people.
Man, when I grew up, I want people talking about me like they was talking about Jesus. That's what the Mac said in the movie, and that's always been my dream from a kid.
Let me tell you what's funny. There was a dude in my neighborhood. His name was, you know what I'm saying, his name, Goldie. His nickname was Goldie. Goldie said that the dream job of a pimp is what? To be a pastor.
Yeah.
They look at pastors as the ultimate pimps.
What they call that macking. He macking from the pool pit.
Wow.
Yeah, he macking from the pool pit. Now you ain't pimping no more. You done elevated to macking.
That's what the man was saying. And so that's why, could that be the reason why a lot of street dudes don't respect preachers?
That's exactly why.
It's different aspects.
Wow.
Because, and the reason why I say that, I've known just what he said. But when I was doing that, that was different. I wanted mine to be a corporate business. I had a hotel that I had all the girls working at, and I would sit in my car. In the way that I would know that they were safe, I protected them.
So before you go there, I want because this ultimately is going to, the crossroad is going to be, because we got to choose a plan of attack of how we change people's mind, right? I want to start with how we can use church, God, and holy, how those things can be used to be some type of introduction to a lifestyle change.
The church.
And so, real quick, so for what you're saying right now, though, what I'm saying is that if the culture, if these guys who we're trying to help, how can the church help them if they don't respect the church?
Well, because the church is not a fisherman of men. It's a pond of women. The Bible says whoever's at the pulpit has to be a fisherman of, make him a fisherman of men. Men will flock to him.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Women flock to the church. That's a pond. The church is supposed to go out and go get the lost souls.
Okay.
So the church don't attract men because it's a woman's world.
So I would say my pushback would be certain churches, because I can like your brother, 31 years, a man's man.
Yeah.
He come to a church and joined that church,
and I've never heard him talk about God. So I was shocked. I laughed out, man, that nigga playing. But when I hear him, he don't play.
Right.
He don't play.
You don't pay out 31 years.
Man, listen, most people go to prison and play with God. He never played with God in 31 years. So I feel like, man, nigga ain't gonna never get out. Because I never heard him mention God.
Let's call him.
So for him to get out and join church, it blew my mind.
Wow.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
And Lesa, so you're here from when you get him on the line, let me know. We have a guest of honor, Kevin White, getting called in. So Lesa, when you're hearing, because this is the culture that many young men they were in when they came to court and they was about to be sentenced to prison, and it wasn't just a choice they made in the moment. It was a lifestyle they was cultivated to make. It's almost like it's not really even fair. If I've been cultivated my entire life to do this, if you're abnormal is my norm, then you got to first start with my mind before you send me to prison. Because if you send me to prison, I may get better at what you send me to prison for. So how do you guys take that into consideration? Or not you guys, the DA's office take that into consideration, kind of the culture and the mentality and the psychology behind the criminal mind before sentencing one?
Yes and no. I mean, I've seen it from, all perspectives. As a former police officer, as a assistant district attorney, and now in private practice, the majority of my clients don't even think or talk about God until they about to go to prison. Their mama and their grandmother
they praying.
Talking about God, they praying.
Right.
But the defendants that I represent, that's the furthest thing from their mind.
Lesa, hold 1 second. Kevin?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me?
Pastor G, what's happening?
Man, it's good.
Pastor G?
I'm good, man. Listen, first of all, congratulations on joining church and everything Sunday. I honestly had no idea of your testimony until your baby brother, sitting here to my right, he said, man, I didn't hear my brother talk about God in 31 years, so I was shocked when he joined church. It's up all the way.
I told you moved me, bro. The whole time I was there, mom was, she carried me on, bro. She was praying for me, telling about God. Got to the point where I told her, excuse my friend, I told her straight up, fuck God. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And,
wow.
But she said, okay, however you feel, that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want to talk about no God. You got to think, I'm 17 years old. Well, probably about 20, dealing with a lot of shit, trying to figure out how to deal with the penitentiary.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to deal with no God or nothing else dealing with no religion. I'm thinking about trying to hurt a person and make it out the penitentiary.
Kevin, hey man, it's Kevin. Kevin, help me out, bro.
Yes, sir.
I have like 1,000,001 questions, and your brother's sitting here smiling, man, listening to you. Because again, he said before the show, he said that he never picked up a Bible. He said your mother, her lifestyle was the only Bible he ever read. And so he was introduced to who God really was by listening and watching your mama, not a pastor, not a scripture. And so my question to you, man, is what happened? What happened for have 31 years, having been in prison since 17 years old? What happened that moment being here in this environment to say, you know what, I'm about to get this thing right today?
Well, it happened off in prison.
Okay.
2017, April 2017, I got caught with a cell phone. And cell phones are prohibited off in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So I laid up, I got caught, I was off in solitary confinement. I said, man, I'm going to deal with this for myself, do a whole year by myself.
Wow.
Mom popped up, Mama came down there on a Sunday. She came down on a Sunday and said, K-White, you got a visit. I said, I ain't got no visit. I ain't told nobody to come see me. They said, I said, Mama gonna let me know when she gonna come see me. I said, man, you got a visit. So I know it ain't nobody but Mama. So I went to walking around. I said, man, I got a visit. I said, man, you going tonight. You can't get back. You got to go down there and let them know you don't want to see them. So I go down there. Mama had tears in her eyes, bro. She said, I know it's a cell phone. And Blue Sun said, Granny, how you do that? She said, because she ain't violent no more.
Wow.
So I said, Mama, how you know? She said, nobody told me nothing. I just know it's a cell phone. So to make a long story short, I seen her look in my mama's eyes that I ain't never seen before in my life. I've been in trouble majority of my life, bro. I ain't never seen that look right there. I can't describe it. I can't replay it. The only thing I know, I never want to see that look ever again in my life.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So the business was over with. I went back to the cell. I walked around. So that Monday, they take me to G5. I go to court and everything. They G5 and ran me over. So I go to G5, G5 was closed custody, the penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up in the cell. So instantly, dude, my cellist, he's like, man, I got the live dude. I came out with a dude sitting at phone in a £1/4 of K2. So I was like, man, I don't want this. So I said it back to her. I said, man, I don't want that. So I said, so my cellist like, man, what you send that back for, man? I said, man, get you into the K2. I ain't thinking about that. So I got up in the bunk, in the top bunk. I just laid in the top. I looked at the ceiling. I said, God, if you real, show me you real.
Wow.
Because I got to do something different. I got to do something different. I can't keep doing what I'm doing. And he didn't talk to me. He just said, nigga, I can't do that. Let me tell you this. None of it was tough. Only thing I can say, since 2017, my life been totally different.
Oh my goodness.
Totally different. Since 2017.
Oh my goodness.
I just started believing in God since 2017. I actually told my son one time. He asked me, he said, "Say, K-White, who you believe in? God or your mama?" I said, "My mama." He said, "What?" He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, man, I believe my mama.
She the living
I don't
Bible.
know God. I believe my mama. My mama the one that's God to me every time. She prayed, all that, my mama." I said, "My mama bought me Easter suits.
Okay.
My mama introduced me to God. Mama introduced me to God. So what bro told you about what mama is God, he's right.
Wow.
That's the only God we knew. It was cricket.
As a kid, how else do you get to know
So
God?
I got several things unpacked, man, with your brother. We have a couple other guests here. Here's a big question for you. What would you tell the young man today who don't understand the reality of the penitentiary? Because some people going to jail for free, and they don't understand the reality that time is real. You can't get time back. Penitentiary ain't no cakewalk. That days are long and slow and boring and repetitive. What would you tell a young person in like 30 seconds of here's why you need to change your life and choose Penn State over the state pen? What would you tell a young person, young man or lady for that matter, watch this podcast, listen to your voice? What would you tell them in 30 seconds or less why they need to make a better decision because their future literally depends on it?
First of all, I'm going to tell a man that life depends on decisions and choices and sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? There's three things that everybody you live off of, the people you got sitting beside you live off of, Donald Trump, President Obama, no matter who you are, we all live life have to make a decision and choice to make a sacrifice every second, every minute of the day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I made a decision and choice 31 years ago that still haunt me right now.
Wow.
Because number one, I didn't listen to my mama.
I didn't listen to my mama. Right.
I didn't listen to my mama. I thought I was too grown.
Okay.
I lived life beyond my means. I didn't enjoy it. I ain't never went to no prom. You know what I'm saying? I dropped out of high school, need 2 credits short. And mama did everything in her power to make me get to school. I couldn't even go to school for one day of the week.
So Kevin, so number one, listen to your parents. What's number two?
Number two, you got to be held accountable, man. You got to hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You got to hold yourself accountable.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? You got to look in the mirror and look at self, because everything starts with self. Yeah, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncles, your aunts, everything, they going to make suggestions. But it's up to you to make the final decision in life. You
Okay.
have to be able to look in the mirror and see what's in the mirror. You see life for what it is, not for what you want it to be. Because once you go to jail, you can't call mama. Ain't no mama come to get you out of no penitentiary. Ain't no dad.
So
Ain't nobody come to get you out the penitentiary.
So it's okay, it's Kevin. And third, if you can cater towards this, because just like your brother was saying, and many say, a lot of times, you know, people see church as, or pastors or preachers or ministry, they see that kind of as a joke. So what would you tell pastors, leaders, of how to reach Kevin White's at 49 and Kevin White at 17? What can the church do better? Or is it just we gotta get rid of the clowns out the pulpit? What needs to happen to attract more and save more young lives? In your personal opinion, in 10 seconds, what is it? Or just share what was it for you?
The preachers have to do like you do, Mr. Goines, like Michael Todd and them do. You know what I'm saying? They got to understand crazy faith. You got to understand their crazy faith, man. Because
You read the book.
Is there in time. And not only did I read the book, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to relate, man. You can't tell these dudes, like, I was at Mother's Church, not Mother's Day. I was at Cornerstone, they had a woman talk. She talking about the baby, the music that they listen to, this, that, and the other. say, man, they relate to these people that's rappers because they mama them listen to the same rap music that they listening to. You know what I'm saying? They mama going to the same club.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Medea effect is no longer there. When I was growing up,
The Medea effect.
You about to say,
That's good.
I assume that me and you got the same age. I didn't care if mama listened to Luther Vandross, Frankie Beverly Mays, Nita Baker. I could not go in the room. That was grown folks' music.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're living the age of the 35-year-old grandmother, and
Exactly.
and I think I think we're seeing that effect on young people. So Kevin, listen, since you are here, man, I want to talk. I want to get you in the room, man, with some other youngsters, man, because I think you got a lot to tell. It sounds like you got a whole book inside of you that we need to talk about. But let me get back to these guests live, and brother, thank you so much for calling in, and looking forward to seeing you at church, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Say, man, you keep doing them dances, man. Guess what?
What's up, man?
You don't keep, say, Pastor G, you keep doing your dance, you keep spitting them lyrics, them hip-hop lyrics that you spit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you'll keep rocking the youth.
Oh, wow.
Keep rocking the youth. Because they love you.
Wow.
Because you know why? Because you understand they crazy faith.
Man, you know, I just had someone post on my social media. They said, someone said, you're looking like an old clown trying to be dressed like a teenager. And this Negro had on a Steve Harvey suit from '75 and telling me anyway that's a different topic. Love you.
Oh, man.
Mr. Goines, let me say this to you before I go.
Oh, man.
Since I've been out with Antoine Jerry, my brother arranged for me to do an interview. You know how I came out dressed for the interview?
How's that?
I came out with a suit on. My brother looked at me and said, man, what is you doing, man?
You ain't gonna get to you.
For the interview, you got your own land, I got mine.
Right.
He said, nigga, let me tell you something, bro. You just got out, man. The preachers don't even wear suits and ties no more. Don't nobody want to listen to no preacher, no suit and tie.
Wow.
That's what I did. He said, no, man, you got to get up and go change your clothes, man. No, man. He said, man, what young person want to sit down and listen to a nigga with a suit and tie on?
Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be at church tomorrow, sir.
Which service, 9 or 11?
I got to see what service my sister going to go to.
Okay.
I believe it's 9 o'clock service, sir.
Okay, holler at me, man, tomorrow after church, and we gonna see when he's happy to get your baby brother up here too. All right, man, bless you, bro.
Confucius said, he who controls images controls minds. He that controls images controls minds. Imagery is projected through rap music. That's why you got gangsterism. That's why you hear pimp. That's why you hear the whore spirit, because those are images.
True.
So these images are being propagated and promoted to our children. So when they cut the television off, what other images do they have to see to relate to?
Okay.
Mama gone to work, daddy gone. When they step outside, who are they more likely to see? Not the preacher, not the teacher, not the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
They go see the pimp, the gangsters, the thugs.
Is it a parenting thing though, or is it back to parenting?
It's a cultural thing. It's a race thing.
Okay.
It's not a parenting thing. It's a race thing because it takes a village. It takes more than the parents.
Well, parents today try to be friends with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
You cannot do that.
Sorry.
I mean, there is like these little guys, they run a damn house. And they run everything. Mama think it's all cute.
Yeah, no.
They think it's all cute.
So I think whereas it takes a village, a community, but when you coming up in a village, in a community that's not conducive to raising kids, now it's back to mom and dad again.
Well,
you gotta have a
I'm raising
standard
my
somewhere.
son to be a pimp, though.
But
You was?
I was.
Mm-hmm.
I had my daughter, I had my wife, which was my children's mother, stripping while she was 5 months pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
My son was born picking up for school with prostitutes in the car with him. He was stepping over prostitutes going to school. I was raising him to see this. But I'm in my 20s.
Yeah.
When my life changed in 30s, but I done already exposed these kids. So I think what parents forget is from 0 to 5, our kids see a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
They see a whole bunch of things that we forget that they seen because we was also young too when we had them. So now we're trying to live different. So mama saying, God, we saying, well, mom, we wasn't learning about God mama didn't go to God till I was about 12. From 0 to 12, mama wasn't talking God.
Okay. Okay, so you need a season to watch Mama to see, Mama, now, is this for real what you talking about?
Well, I never seen a man come out of, I always seen a good woman, but we never knew God. She was always a good woman. We just never knew God.
That's an intriguing concept.
But you
Go ahead.
I hear what he's saying, but there's something that a lot of people don't know.
What's that?
I've been on the streets when I was pimping, then I started dealing drugs here and had 20 drug houses, and I was part of an organization, organized crime. And I used to see these young brothers with their guns on the street talking that smack, watching them pistol whip people and stuff. And then when I would go to jail, I would see them come into jail in the prison system, and they were so timid. Oh, they wasn't gangster no more. Out there, they be ready to go up on, but when you're in there, they be so timid. And you know what? And I tell them just like this.
I'm going to talk to K. White about that.
I said, one thing that's going to happen to you, son, is when you go to the penitentiary, you're going to have Kool-Aid on your lips, on your cheeks. You're going to have a T-shirt tied in a knot because you're going to be somebody's woman because you can't do nothing for yourself.
So that's why they all went to the gang and went gang, right? So it's like, people get it misconstrued. Black boys aren't gangster. They ain't playing gangster. They just hurt. The hurt done develop into anger because hurt people.
Right.
So because you don't understand the hurt. So as a kid, I remember my brother. My brother was 10 years old, man, maybe 11. We've never been abused. We don't know what it's like to go to bed hungry. I've never seen my mother beat on. I've never seen a man come out of her bedroom. I never heard my mother say anything bad about my father. I ain't never heard my mama cuss nobody out. I ain't never even heard my mama gossip in all of my life.
Wow.
My 10-year-old big brother looks at me as kids and say, when I grow up, I'm gonna kill somebody, with so much anger. The boy had anger from the simple fact of not having a father. Well, where does the anger come from? Here I am as a kid. I'm feeling abandoned because my father's not here. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling unloved. I'm feeling unwanted. I'm feeling neglected. Mama working. Mama can't process these feelings as a boy. So what ends up happening? Tupac says, when I get my weight up with my hate, I'm gonna pay them back when I'm bigger. Hurt people. So as I begin to get older and mama licks stop hurting, guess what? Now I'm hurting.
Did y'all hear what he just said? When mama's licks stop hurting.
Her words still hurt, but her words make me angry.
I'm with
you.
But
because now I'm acting out of anger. As every black boy with a gun, he's acting out of displaced anger. Every nigga he kicking and stomping is really toward his daddy and his mama. Every woman that he's abused, he really mad at his mama.
He's right on that.
Wait, Papa, I got to jump in here because this is very intriguing. Because here is a tale of two tapes.
I hated black men because my father was absent. That started with the preacher, the janitor.
So it's a similar story though. See, my deal was different. Whereas I had the same type things almost, and my mama's certain things I would never say while my mother is still living, right? But I saw all those things that you didn't see. I saw them. I've seen my mom get beat. I told the people, son, I didn't know, when I was growing up, I didn't know not one woman in my entire neighborhood who wasn't getting beat up by a man. From my mama, my aunts, my neighbor, I thought that was a norm.
Right.
Yet, I never in my life put my hands on a woman.
Yeah.
I got my first package put in my hand as a sophomore in high school, and got a really big opportunity to be a part of something, a line from Houston to Louisiana. But you know what happened, man? Even though that's all I saw, some in me said, you know what? That ain't the play. And so I don't understand. So it's like for me, I think, like decision, your brother said, I've always had integral points in my life where I had to make the decision, do I take this package? Do I put punch this woman in the face? And I say, that's just not what I want to try. And I have every excuse to. So how do we differentiate between two people, same and two diverse experiences, but we made different choices? It's intriguing now because we both kind of doing the same thing with different language.
Those that's closest to the problem is closest to the solutions. We close to the problems. Those that's closest to the problems are closest to the solutions.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. But Lisa, so from a legal perspective, the DA you seen, and some you sent to prison, right?
Yep.
Is that and I believe in prison, but I'm not sure if prison is reformative. I got a friend right now. He's on his 34th year in prison, Angola State Penitentiary.
That's a rough one.
For a principal. He was a robbery. He was out the shooter, but Terry Mays shot the guy, and the DA said we want to kill. We want a capital punishment on your boy. If you testify against him and say you saw it, you can go home. He said, well, I can't say that. It's like me killing the man because I ran off. Right. He said, if you don't testify against the man, both y'all getting life. And that's exactly what they did. 34 years in prison was not the trigger man. And for him, and he and I, we had communicated over the years, but he's saying these guys come in and they don't really have a plan when they get out. And so when you don't have a plan, so now we talk about the whole reentry thing. My question to you is that, the DA's office, do they take the psychology of prison in place, especially when it comes to young black men? Because even the sentencing is lopsided. A black man gets more time than a white guy, 3 times as much from out here. Is that a true stat that the DA office look? Is that a true stat?
I'm just saying that from my perspective in prosecuting people, right? I always did things I looked at it holistically, right?
Okay.
So it's situations where when I was because I was a police officer and I saw a lot of bad things that police officers did when they beat people. And I mean, I saw it firsthand.
They don't do that. Police officers actually beat people.
It was time to, I saw it.
You ever heard of that happening?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, mess with him.
Yes, sir. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so my thing was I always try to, especially when prosecuting black men, is he salvageable? Is there something in him? And a lot of times it was just looking at the mama and the grandmama most of the time.
Wow.
Is there something, what caused this person to turn to go down this particular road? So I would always look for alternatives to incarceration. Is there a program he can take? Batterers intervention, anger control counseling, drug programs.
Wow.
Something where I was not forced to send him to the penitentiary.
So now this is intriguing because I've always asked the question, why do defense attorneys find themselves, or attorneys, begging prosecutors to save someone's life? Is there a record that's kept for conviction rate? So as a DA, if your stock gonna go up, you need more convictions. So you don't get a reputation as a DA if you let people go on programs.
You have, back in the day, I mean, the system has changed from when I first became a prosecutor. It was like there was no alternatives to incarceration. Okay. Over time, we have come up with these different diversion programs, is what they're called. Mm-hmm. So we're looking for alternatives because Texas was sending more people to the penitentiary than any other state.
Are you from Texas originally?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the United States. And so we were overcrowding these prisons without giving alternatives.
Wow.
If a person gets that chance, an alternative to incarceration, and they successfully complete it, that's life-changing.
Wow.
And then, but they don't, they want to go. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people just absolutely need to be in the penitentiary, period.
Sure.
I
recommend it. I recommend prison for most black boys.
Talk to me.
I think most black boys should go to prison. I think it's one of the best tools of teaching.
Is there a time frame in which you say it's best for them to go to prison?
I think I recommend it for every black male that's caught up into the hip hop culture that don't know what they want to do after high school. So if they don't know what they want to do after high school, they need to go to prison, and I promise you they'll be better men when they return home, because I've seen nothing have produced better black men than America's prison system.
Really?
Yes, I've seen nothing produce better black men.
So you suggest the state Penn over Penn State to teach young black boys?
Yes, because I see more black men go to college and do nothing with college, but I see them come out as better black men from prison.
I don't know about that one, Charles.
I've been
Talk to me.
Well, I've been to college in both. I've been to both. Well, I haven't been to prison. But I have an organization that has 50 men who committed a murder when they were children, including myself. So I spent 7 years of my life locked up on a murder in a boys' home. So all of my friends been to prison. And I'm telling you, they great men coming from prison. Yeah. So I'm an expert in crime and criminals, right? And so it's my qualitative knowledge based on my experiences that God uses prison to preserve black life. Other than that, they would die early. They would do something at 19 and 20 that would ensure that they get a life sentence. So God have to let this fool, because he's not listening to his mother, he don't listen to his father, he don't go to church, and he don't have a God. So every black boy I know met God in prison.
Now, some of that I do agree with.
Because all things prison, work for the good of those, right?
Well, say a word. I do agree that prison can preserve, because a lot of guys are on a crash course to young death until they went to prison. Now you over there saying I totally disagree with that.
Well, you know, I don't wish. I went to the penitentiary twice.
Yeah, I don't wish prison on nobody.
I don't wish prison on nobody. Here's the deal, and then as far as the lifestyle, what he was saying was true, but that's not for everybody. I mean, my whole anger came from being raped and molested as a kid, and being beaten by a family that's supposed to have been loving me. And the only memory I had of love was my grandmother. It's all destroyed, and it's to the point right now that I'm at the age of 13, I'm shooting dope, I got a gun, and I refuse for anybody to lift a finger at me. I wouldn't care who you were. My anger grew from there to every day I blamed God for keeping me here. I was afraid to commit suicide because I really thought I would go to hell. So that was kept me here. But I was angry at God. But every day, Pastor, every day I look forward to somebody killing me to get me off of this.
But let me explain it.
But that penitentiary,
I'm the kid
I've seen so much happen in the penitentiary, from seeing people raped, laying in a puddle of blood, and watching a guard walk right by and not doing nothing. I've watched people get shanked. I've watched.
So the trauma, you say, can be life damaging.
It can be life.
But who cares when these people have got victims who have life traumas? The people that he's saying this have happened to have caused trauma to these people out here. These same boys who I say should go to prison, mama's scared of them in the house, 12-year-olds kicking their grandmamas. See, this is
I agree with that.
So
he said
that's intriguing.
Okay,
everybody, I know this has been some fire stuff. We got to shut it down right now. So but we'll be back with part 2. Keep it going.
That was good, wasn't it? Now that you know who my man is, go follow Doc on IG at Doc_Goines. I'll see y'all next Tuesday back on the block.
Outro the first one? Outro the first? Okay, everybody. I know this has been some fire stuff. We got to shut it down right now. So but we'll be back with part 2. Keep it going.